Nigiri ni Mwanzo. Go is the beginning. In the name of she, capital S, capital H, capital I, who man Adam called son, S-U-N, mother nature, mother earth. In the name of the true begotten son, Emmanuel, Imanuel, whose name is Go with us, Matthew 1:23. In the name of the true motherland, Nigritia, land of the gods, Nigratia. Kunta Kinte, Ki Swahili, Tower of Babel, man's first tongue. Among Kutoka, you peace from above. How y'all doing? Good to be here. Fuha Sabasiku. Fuha wa Sabasiku. Happy 7th day. Fuha wa Sabasiku. Happy 7th day. The Book of Life. Agano, Jipya, Imanuel. The New Testament of Imanuel. Agano, Jipya, Imanuel. Excuse me. The Book of Life, Kitabu Cha Uzima. The Book of Life, Kitabu Cha Uzima. Reading from the New Testament of Emmanuel, Agano, Jipya, Emmanuel. Yom, chapter 11. John, chapter 11. Now a certain man was sick, Lazarus of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. It was that Mary who anointed the teacher with fragrant oil and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Therefore the sisters sent to him, saying, Teacher, behold, he whom you love is sick. When Emmanuel heard that, he said, This sickness is not upon death, but for the glory of God, that the begotten Son of God may be glorified through it. Now Emmanuel loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard that he was sick, he stayed 2 more days in the place where he was. Then after this, he said to the disciples, Let us go to Judea again. The disciples said to him, Teacher, lately the Jews sought to stone you, and are you going there again? Emmanuel answered, Are there not 12 hours in the day? If anyone walks in the day, he does not stumble because he sees the light of this world. But if one walks in the night, he stumbles because the light is not in him. These things he said, and after that he said to them, Our friend Lazarus sleeps, but I go that I may wake him up. Then his disciples said, Teacher, if he sleeps, he will get well. However, Emmanuel spoke of his death, but they thought he was speaking about taking rest in sleep. Then Emmanuel said to them plainly, Lazarus is dead, and I am glad for your sakes that I was not there, that you may believe. Nevertheless, let us go to him. Then Thomas, who is called Didymus, said to his fellow disciples, Let us also go, that we may die with him. So when Emmanuel came, he found that he had already been in the tomb 4 days. Now Bethany was near Jerusalem, about 2 miles away. And many of the Jews had joined the women around Martha and Mary to comfort them concerning their brother. Oh, excuse me. Then Martha As soon as she heard that Emmanuel was coming, went and met him, but Mary was sitting in the house. Now Martha said to Emmanuel, Teacher, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now, I know that whatever you ask of God, God will give you. Emmanuel said to her, Your brother will rise again. Martha said to him, I know that he will rise again in the resurrection of the last day. Emmanuel said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me, though he may die, he shall live. And whoever lives and believes in me shall never die. Do you believe this? She said to him, Yes, teacher. I believe that you are the teacher, the begotten Son of God, who is to come into the world. And when she had said these things, she went her way and secretly called Mary, her sister, saying, The teacher has come and is calling for you. As soon as she heard that, she arose quickly and she came to him. And Emmanuel had not yet come into the town, but was in the place where Martha met him. Then the youths who were with her in the house and comforting her, when they saw that Mary rose up quickly and went out, followed her, saying, She is going to the tomb to weep there. Then when Mary came where Emmanuel was and saw him, she fell down at his feet, saying to him, Teacher, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. Therefore, when Emmanuel saw her weeping, and the Jews who came with her weeping, he groaned in the spirit and was troubled. And he said, Where have you laid him? They said to him, Teacher, come and see. Emmanuel wept. Then the Jews said, See how he loved him? And some of them said, Could not this man who opened the eyes of the blind also have kept this man from dying? Then Emmanuel again, groaning in himself, came to the tomb. It was a cave, and a stone lay against it. Emmanuel said, Take away the stone. Martha, the sister of him who was dead, said to him, Teacher, by this time there is a stench, for he has been dead 4 days. Emmanuel said to her, Did I not say to you that if you would believe, you would see the glory of God? Then, then you will see the glory of God. Yeah, did I not say to you that if you would believe, you would see the glory of God? Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead man was lying. And Emmanuel lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. And I know that you always hear me. But because of the people who are standing by, I said this, that they may believe that you sent me. Now, when he had said these things, he cried out with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And he who had died came out, bound head and foot with grave clothes, and his face was wrapped with a cloth. Emmanuel said to them, Loose him and let him go. Then many of the Jews who had come to Mary and had seen the things Emmanuel did believed in him. But some of them went away to the Pharisees and told them the things Emmanuel did. Then the chief priests and the Pharisees gathered a council and said, What shall we do? For the man works many signs. If we let him alone like this, everyone will believe in him, and the Romans will come and take away both our place and nation. And one of them, Caiaphas, being high priest that year, said to them, "You know nothing at all, nor do you consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and not the whole nation should perish." Now this he did not say on his own authority, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Emmanuel would die for the nation, and not for that nation only, but also that he would gather together in one of the children of gold, and who were scattered abroad. Then from that day on, they plotted to put him to death. Therefore, Emmanuel no longer walked openly among the Jews, but went from there into the country near the wilderness to a city called Ephraim, and there remained with his disciples. And the Passover of the Jews was near, and many went from the country up to Jerusalem before the Passover to purify themselves. Then they sought Emmanuel and spoke amongst themselves as they stood in the temple. "What do you think, that he will not come to the feast?" Now both the chief priests and the Pharisees had given a command that if anyone knew where he was, he should report it, that they might seize him. Hmm, interesting. Now, if you're paying attention to me and reading the book of life, you will see that not once did I say that word Lord, because that is not who Emmanuel is. See, all you got to do is look at chapter 11, verse 28. The teacher has come and is calling for you. One more time. There it is, right there. I keep telling y'all, they tried to twist it, and they were allowed to twist it. And I am allowed to put it back the way it should be. Just like right here at verse 27. They got yes, Lord, but it's yes, teacher. I believe that you are the teacher, the begotten Son of God, not the Son of God, because he's not the Son of God, the begotten Son of God. One more time. That's what you hear me say. Just like, where's that at? Verse 40. Did I not say to you that if you would believe, you would see the glory of gold, not just gold, not the glory of gold, but the glory of gold. One more time. Just like Lazarus was placed in the tomb. One more time. Just like Emmanuel was placed in the tomb, not buried in the ground. Didn't you hear when she said, he said, move the stone. She like, whoa, he been in there for 4 days. Whoo, he's gonna be ripe. He's like, move the stone. Do what you're supposed to do. Hear my words, because the words that I'm saying, you said you believe. So move the stone. One more time. And when you see that Emmanuel came up out of the tomb, covered, what? In wrap cloths, death cloth. What did no? Wait a minute. What did they say? Then he came up out of there, and he was wrapped grave cloths. Yeah, he had those grave cloths. That's why you be seeing that you got to pay attention to everything That's why they be trying to put all these mummies and everything like that. And what you trying to gotta understand is that Emmanuel was placed in the tomb. Bam. He was not placed in a grave. Lazarus, Lazarus, Lazarus. One more time. Lazarus was placed in the tomb, not in the ground. See, they would tell you about Lazarus. Then they would tell you about Lazarus being dug at the ground. See, just like they tell you about Jesus dug out the ground. But Emmanuel was placed in the tomb. Lazarus was placed in the tomb. That's why they were placed in the tomb, not in the ground. Because in the tomb, they still connected to gold. In the ground, they are now buried in the ground. They're not placed in the tomb. Placed in the tomb, you keep your connection to gold. One more time. Or be like, what I'm going to do, I don't want to be placed in no tomb. I prefer ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Burn this when I'm out of this vessel, burn it and throw the ashes in the wind. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Once I leave this vessel, that's how I feel. But then again, that's what I say. Go to goals, I don't know. And maybe he may feel that I'm worthy of a tomb. One more time. Maybe I'm worthy of a tomb. I don't know. But I'm saying me, myself, and I, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. But what you got to realize and recognize when you start understanding the book of life, you understand how they try to twist and manipulate things. You understand what I'm saying? They try to manipulate it, and they're allowed to manipulate it. That's why I'm here. I'm here for those who want to make the choice to understand what he is telling me as I read. You see me doing different things, changing different things as I read because he's allowing me to. One more time. Understand. That's why I'm not reading ahead. I'm reading with, as I'm reading now, I'm not reading ahead. One more time. As I read chapter 11, I'm reading chapter 11. Anyhow, let me see. He's a teacher, and he's the begotten son of God. Not the, just remember, chapter 11, verse 28. The teacher has come and is calling for you. Not they, but they got right before that. You understand what I'm saying? They got Lord and Master. No, everywhere they got Lord, I say teacher. Just like verse 12. Then his disciples said, "Teacher, if he sleeps, will he get well?" Uh, teacher, 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 and then finally they said out loud, "Well, they can't keep telling them lies with that Lord stuff. Go to God's place the truth right there." But like I keep telling people, there's a difference between looking and seeing. You look at Jesus and say Jesus. You look at Jesus and say Jesus. I see Jesus and say Jesus. Jesus. Jesus eliminates Jesus and it eliminates Jesus because I'm looking at the same thing they looking at and they trying to tell me that I ain't supposed to say what I see, but I can say what I see one more time. Because I see Jesus. Y'all look at Jesus and say, Jesus. One more time. When you can see Jesus, this is your first step. And when I say you see it, it's when you look and see Jesus and your brain registers Jesus. One more time. I'm telling you what I know because I was the same way. I see Jesus and even my brain. I had to work that out of my brain. I had to work that out of my brain. It's not an overnight thing. It's been implanted as a child. That's the only J you look at and you can't say J. You can call it everything but what you see, Jesus. One more time. Stop brain whitewash. Put in your mind what you see is what you say, not what you say, not what you looking at. Let me put this correctly. What you see, J sus, is what you say, J sus, not what you looking at, the J, but you can only say Jesus or Hey Sus. I can't say what I'm looking at because I'm looking at a J, but it's not a J because it's Jesus or Hey Sus, but I'm looking at a J. Now, when I see the J, he's born in Jerusalem, J, King of the Jews, J, baptized by John, J, betrayed by Judas, J, stepdad named Joseph, J, 5 J's and his J's, J2. One more time, because I see the J. I'm not looking at it. Just like I see Matthew 1:23, Emmanuel, Imanuel, whose name is God with us. One more time. I don't look at Matthew 1:23. I see Matthew 1:23. So when I get to 125, I notice that it should not be there. And I will put Imanuel. I will put Iman, but it will not stay Jesus because I see Matthew 1:23 and I no longer look at JUSUS and call it what it ain't. In my book, I done showed you. I put Iman. One more time. Let me all through here. All through here, if you look at it, everywhere in different spots, that's where it's J. They got JESUS, but mine is IMANUEL because I'm not trying to overstep what I see and let what I've been brain whitewashed and taught to say. No, that doesn't work anymore. Nigri, ni, Mwanzo, go is the beginning. In the name of she, capital S, capital H, capital I, who man Adam called son, S-U-N, Mother Nature, Mother Earth, in the name of the true begotten Son, Emmanuel, Imanuel, whose name he go up with us, Matthew 1:23, in the name of the true motherland, Nigritia, Nigoria, which means land of the gods, Kiswahili, Kunta Kinte, Tower of Babel, man's first tongue. Amani kutoka you peace from above. Trip seas cool calm collected whole wide www whole wide world. Ah, enjoy the weekend. Fura wa Sabbath. Siku. Happy 7th day.